Hello everyone. Welcome back to the Top 10 Wonders YouTube channel. Today we will talk about 10 sporting events that ended in tragic deaths of athletes. If you watched the Tokyo Summer Olympics, you were reminded of how jaw-dropping these Olympians' feats of skill, strength, and endurance can be. But sometimes, it's good to be reminded that athletes often risk not just failure but their life. Here are 10 instances when athletes lost far more than a trophy. 1. An entire soccer team killed on the field. It's quite common for participants in sporting events to pray or appeal to a deity for help in a game. Apparently, in the Central African nation of Congo, they may also utilize witchcraft. In late October 1998, the village of Benetshadi was hosting a soccer, football, match against the nearby village of Basangana in the south-central Congolese province of Eastern Kasai. The game was tied 1-1 when lightning struck the field, pitch, killing all 11 members of the Benetshadi team and injuring more than 30 spectators standing on the sidelines. It is the only known instance of an entire team dying on a playing field. Investigators determined that the freak lightning bolt was the result of witchcraft, no doubt conjured by someone rooting for the Basangana team. That team, after all, walked off the field without a single injury. According to the Congolese press agency, sorcery is commonly used to influence games. 2. The 90-mile-an-hour death of Nodar Kumaritashvili. In the years before the 2010 Winter Olympics in Vancouver, the International Olympic Committee had drawn criticism for its efforts to elevate interest in the Games by adding more dramatic, more dangerous events such as snowboarding and ski cross. It also used technology and track designs to push existing events, such as the luge, to faster and faster speeds. Joseph Fent, president of the International Luge Foundation, was one of those concerned about Vancouver's Whistler Sliding Center track where luge, skeleton, and bobsled teams would compete. After record speeds and some accidents by seasoned luge athletes during an international training week at Whistler, Fent felt the track was just too fast. They said the subsequent changes to the track, they altered the Thunderbird turn, moved the starting line further down the track. 3. Sweet Kiss of Death. Among the more shocking horse races in the last century was the June 4, 1923, race at New York's Belmont Park when a longshot named Sweet Kiss, and its jockey Frank Hayes, won. Part of the surprise was that Sweet Kiss was not a winning horse. Records are sketchy, but it appears the horse had won for its owner, a Ms. A.M. Freiling, a paltry sum of $1,775, $28,000 in 2021 money, in its career, and was given 20-1 odds to win the Belmont race. Hayes, too, was a longshot as he worked the stables, was not a jockey, and had never raced a horse before. The reason Hayes was tapped to jockey Sweet Kiss is unknown, but it was reported that he had to drop from 142 pounds to 130 pounds in just one day to take the saddle. On the morning of the race, Hayes spent hours jogging while denying himself food and water just to reach his target weight. There is a surviving photo of Sweet Kiss and Hayes during the race, and sometime after the photo was taken, but before crossing the finish line, Hayes died of a massive heart attack. As Freiling and officials rushed up to the winners, Hayes tumbled out of the saddle, already dead. 4. A first no one would want. It shouldn't be surprising that boxing ranks among the top 10 most dangerous sports. Some 90% of all boxers receive some brain damage during their careers, and about 10 fighters a year die of injuries sustained in the ring. The autopsy determined that the blow to Zerlenti's head jarred her brain, causing it to bleed uncontrollably. The coroner found no vascular malformation or aneurysm that might have ruptured with the blow. Nor did Zerlenti's have any drugs in her system. It was just an unfortunate blow one Zerlenti's had shrugged off numerous times that opened up a blood vessel. 5. Death by celebration. A perusal of the risks of death in sporting events reveals few surprises. For instance, boxing has about 46 deaths for every 100,000 participants. Base jumping has about 43 deaths, while skydiving has 1 fatality in 100,000 jumpers. Around 1,000 drivers die for every 100,000 who race behind a steering wheel, while 100 racers die astride a motorbike. Swimming, which includes open water and endurance swimming, has 2 fatalities per 100,000 participants, while scuba diving has 3. The October 2014 death of Peter Biaksangwala definitely falls in the latter category. Peter, a 23-year-old midfielder for Bethlehem Vengflang FC, India, was in the 62nd minute of a match against Sean Murray West when he scored the game-tying point. He then celebrated with a somersault, one he misjudged. 6. Death by snow groomer. The year 1992 marked the last time the Winter and Summer Olympics were held in the same year, and the Albertville, France, Winter Olympics were the first after the fall of the Soviet Union. 6 former Soviet bloc countries formed a unified team, while the Baltic states of Estonia, Lithuania, and Latvia, and a newly reunified Germany participated in the Olympics as independent nations for the first time since 1936. On the next to last day of the Olympics, Swiss speed skier Nicolas Bocquet, 27, was warming up for the finals on a public slope at La Lachère, France. Bocquet used slalom skis instead of his wider speed skis, as he and teammate Pierre-Yves Durand roared down the slope at top speed. As Bocquet approached a hill, people downslope started shouting and waving off the skiers. Too late, Bocquet flew over the hill only to find a snow groomer, a vehicle that works the snowpack for optimal skiing, on the other side. 7. Bloody Sunday, 1920. The citizens of Dublin, Ireland, awoke on the morning of November 21, 1920, to gunfire. The Irish War of Independence had been raging for nearly 2 years between British forces and the Irish Republican Army, IRA. That Sunday morning, the IRA touched off coordinated assassinations of undercover British intelligence agents, killing 15 and wounding 5. In pursuit of the assailants, the police arrived at Croke Park, where a soccer match between the Tipperary and Dublin soccer teams was being held. The police suspected some of the assassins had slipped in among the soccer fans. At 3:25 that afternoon, 10 minutes into the game, the police blocked the Croke Park exits, and a contingent was sent in to search the crowds estimated to be 5,000 strong for IRA gunmen. At least 3 members of the IRA were also killed at Croke Park, one of them a footballer on the Tipperary team. Michael Hogan was team captain as well as captain of the Grangemockler Company of the IRA. In the melee, Hogan was shot in the back at the corner of the pitch, now known as Hill 16. Tom Ryan, a gasfitter, was one of the IRA volunteers sent to kill a British agent that morning. The target was not at home. 8. The honor of my race, family and self are at stake. The October 6, 1923, game between the Iowa State Cyclones and the University of Minnesota Gophers meant a lot to 21-year-old Jack Trice. He was the only African American on the football field, and this was his first game for the Cyclones varsity team. While most African Americans were only allowed to attend black colleges in the South, they had been attending Iowa for 32 years by then. But none had ever played on a Cyclone varsity team, and Jack, a sophomore, was on 2 varsity teams, football and track. Iowa, however, refused to play Minnesota for the next 66 years. In the 1980s, a statue was erected of Jack that stands outside Jack Trice Stadium, the only major college stadium named after an African American. 9. The final ride of Lane Frost. Bull riding is another extremely dangerous sport, with 20 catastrophic injuries for every 100,000 riders. Between 1989 and 2016, at least 21 professional bull riders died, along with an unknown number of amateurs. For instance, in 2016, a 15-year-old amateur was trampled to death by a bull after being thrown at a New Mexico rodeo. It happened again in 2019 at the Denver Western Stock Show when a pro bull rider was thrown, and the bull brought its 2,000 pounds down on the rider's chest, killing him. Seen a lot worse wrecks, gores, than Lane had there. But TCB's horn had broken some of Lane's ribs and punctured a major artery. Lane got up, took a few steps, then signaled for help before falling into the mud. Within minutes he was dead. Lane was inducted into the Pro Rodeo Hall of Fame the next year. 5 years after his death, Lane was immortalized in the movie 8 Seconds. 10. Death by fans. Every sport has fans who lose their minds and toss anything and everything at the athletes. Basketball had the 2004 infamous Malice in the Palace when a fan threw a cup of beer at Indiana Pacer Ron Artest. Baseball has the lemons thrown by Chicago Cubs fans at New York Yankee Babe Ruth during the 3rd game of the 1932 World Series. Legend has it, the lemons prompted the Babe to call his shot, pointing at center field before swatting a home run in that direction. For golf, there's the fan who threw a hot dog at Tiger Woods in 2011. How much anger management therapy should you receive if you've lost it at a golf game? 73 died at Port Said, Egypt, during a soccer brawl in 2012. Then there's Andres Escobar, who contributed to Colombia's loss to the US when he accidentally deflected the ball into his own goal in the 1994 World Cup. Hope you guys enjoy this video and find it useful. If you enjoy this video, please make sure to like and subscribe to my channel for more amazing videos and ring the notification bell so you can be notified of all future content. Don't forget to share with your friends and family. I would love to hear your opinions, so feel free to leave us your valuable feedback too.